Hello and welcome to the Tuesday episode of Journalist Hangout. I am Dakbo Aruwa Joy. It's yet another attack allegedly carried out by the Fulani militia. This time not in Agatu, Benue State, but neighboring Enugu State. Killings cause of people. In its bid to actualize the change agenda, the Buhari-led administration has come up with the first of its kind. That's a town hall meeting. We shall be analyzing each ministry in a jiffy. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Nigerians woke up on Monday morning to hear the news that no fewer than 20 persons have been killed in Ukpabi Nimbo community in the Uzo-Wani local government area of Enugu State. No thanks to the Fulani militia who have been accused of carrying out atrocities across the country. In recent times, there have been incessant killings in Agatu community, Benue State, and security agencies seem not to have a lasting solution to the crisis. And after this unfortunate development in Enugu State, Nigerians are asking if the Fulani militia, or so-called Herdsmen, will not degenerate into another terrorist group like Boko Haram. Why are the security agencies clueless on this matter? And that's a big question there. Let me introduce my guest first. Babajide Kolade Otitoju is around. Thank you very much for hanging with us. Doshima Abu also is around. Thank you very much, Doshima. And I have Olayinka Oyegbile also around. Good
Thank
evening.
you very much.
Nice having you. We need to let's take a look at this package by our correspondent over there, so see what is going on.
The song being chanted by these angry youths speaks volumes about the message they want the state government to act on. But some of them were keen to let TVC News crew know why they took to the roads in this form to drive home their message.
Today, there are a lot of killings here and there within the local governments. Right in my own local government, the similar thing also happened, which we chased them away from the area. Then they came back to revenge. When they came back to revenge, this is the revenge they gave to me. These are the ones they came to my house. Then along the line, as I was taking treatment, I was at the UBTH for good 4 months. My wife died, leaving 7 children with me. Today, nobody cares, nobody asks how am I doing, how did I take care of myself, spend almost 1.7 million. Nobody asks, I borrowed money here and there, nobody cares to ask me. So what we are asking the federal government and the state government to do is that they should send the Fulanis away from our land. We have had enough from them.
How long will this continue? Let government see it as a problem, and they're telling us it's a national problem. That is today we said, okay, if it's a national problem, we are going to block the federal route so that the federal government will know there's a problem in Delta State.
As expected, the protests which took place at the ever-busy Benin-Asaba highway caused heavy traffic gridlock for more than 5 hours, forcing many passengers to trek. But while the protests lasted, no official of Delta State government came out to address the angry youths. It took the persuasion of the police to get the youths off the road and made movement of vehicles possible. The incessant attacks by suspected Fulani herdsmen on farmers and other residents in Delta State lately have led to loss of many lives, including that of a traditional ruler. There have also been reported cases of rape of female farmers by these rampaging herdsmen.
A sad one there, one too many, some people will say. Let me start with you, Doshima. You covered the Agatu killings. Can you give us a picture, or paint a picture of what it's really like to lose one's loved ones to these headsmen or, I don't know, militias?
Well, the Agatu situation was, that's not this year's incident isn't the first. It started in 2012. Where it was alleged that the leader of Fulani, the Fulani leader in Agatu, was killed. But Agatu people, members of the community said that the leader was not killed by the residents of Agatu, or the Agatu community, that he was driven from Agagbe. Agagbe is a neighboring local government, Gwe West, which is also suffering attacks. And they drove the leader to Agatu in 2012. And after the killing of their of their leader, Fulani men started leaving the community in droves. Now that's one feature when they want to have an attack. You see them leaving that community, and that's what happened in Enugu as well. And since 2012, when they left the community lost its peace. Over 10, 11, 12 communities razed down, houses razed down, nothing left in those houses. When you go there, the picture, I lack words to express what we saw there, but it's really heartbreaking to see that people who were living together in a community at some point, they are now at war with each other. You see, hundreds have been killed. Children, some of them don't even have their parents with them. They've lost everything they toiled for over the years due to this crisis.
But some people argue it's because of cattle now. Is it true?
Yes, that's each time there's a crisis, what the MACBAN, that's Mieti Allah, that's an umbrella group, that what they put forth is that their leader was killed in Agatu, and all the cattle were rustled, or that their cattle were killed. Now they gave us a video. The video was actually in 2014, not even in 2015, telling us that was what happened. And that's to tell you that each time this issue comes up, there's this narrative that comes with it. The Fulani people gives a narrative. I am not saying that there wouldn't have been some level of some sort within the community, but when atrocity happens in a community, the best thing to do is to go to the law and seek how to redress this. Now there are police, there should be security posts in those communities. Why not report the issue to the security post and say, look, our cattle were rustled in this community and we want to know who did it, or we are suspecting so and so to be responsible, but not taking laws into our hands. Now the Mieti Allah people we had a very long interaction with them, and they gave us a video that wasn't even this year's video, it was some years back, which shows that they don't even have evidence to prove that such thing happened. They said that about 10,000 of their cows were killed. We went around 10 communities, no carcasses of cows, or no remains of cows or any animals on the ground there. All we saw were large herds of cattle roaming the area, and some of them fleeing the community because of they had to leave the community, and so they were fleeing the area. So we can't put up a narrative that's saying that because your cattle you had some killed, and then that's why you should kill a human being. There's no justification for that. Now we spoke to them and said, look, why can't we have ranches? Why are we at this age? Why can't we have ranches?
We'll look at the solutions later, but Jide, let me put this question to you. Do people have to die because cattle have to leave?
That is assuming that is the source of the problem. This problem, and I've said it repeatedly, I oppose the idea of calling these people Fulani herdsmen. I oppose it seriously. Even as an editor, when I see it in scripts, I throw it away. And I've been insistent that the people carrying out these attacks belong to what I would call the Fulani militia. Now, the militia that is actually on this killing campaign is what I describe as a terrorist group. The Fulanis that we grew up with, they do not carry sophisticated weapons. The people who go to different communities to slaughter people in the manner that they are doing now, the manner in which they are killing people now, they are terrorists. You see, we have this attitude of taking things lightly until they degenerate beyond the capacity of our security agencies. This was how Boko Haram began. A group of people left a town called Kankia in Katsina State, moved to the northeast. Thousands of people. Our dumb security agencies didn't think that it was strange for people to live in large number like that. They were going to join up with some other people in the northeast. And before we knew it, we had terrorism on our hands. I'm telling you that the modus operandi of this so-called Fulani herdsmen, that's how most Nigerians call them, is consistent with the modus operandi of Boko Haram. They come into a community, set the entire community ablaze. What we are seeing now, they just use cattle as a kind of small screen. And I remember that Boko Haram some time ago, when they tried to invade Maiduguri, they first put their cattle in front to deceive the security agencies, whereas there were fighters behind the cattle. But the vigilant soldiers on the edge of Maiduguri sensed that these guys were terrorists and they opened fire. So they were unable to invade Maiduguri that particular day. I remember that incident. So what we must do is take these killings seriously. I believe the current government is handling this matter lightly, and that is why it has degenerated. You know, they almost killed the former governor of Benue.
Yes.
In fact, this video was shot the day the former governor of Benue, Gabriel Suswam, was almost killed. This video, because he was inspecting, he was visiting some of the areas attacked when the so-called herdsmen, the militia, when they opened fire, and the governor and his security men, realizing that they were going to be outnumbered and overpowered, they had to quickly leave the scene. I spoke to him, and he also agreed at that time, Gabriel Suswam, that the kind of killings that these people are carrying out, that can only be carried out with such precision if it is a terrorist group.
Okay, so you're supporting the action of the Human Rights Writers Association, saying they should be treated as terrorists.
Of course, they are terrorists already now.
Okay.
Boko Haram, I mean, the so-called Fulani Militia, that's what I will continue to call them. The Fulani Militia has already been rated as the fourth most dangerous terrorist group in the world.
By the UN.
Outside Nigeria, they are already viewed as a terrorist group. It's we here that we are deceiving ourselves, calling them Fulani herdsmen.
Let me go to Olayenka. why people will say, I've heard arguments that why the president is not addressing this issue properly. It's taking this issue with kids' gloves because the president is from the district or from the territory where these people are coming from. Do you support that notion also?
Well, I'm not. I'm at a crossroads whether to support that argument or not to support. One, I don't want to see it as the president is keeping quiet because it's from there. And at the same time, I think the president at this time should speak up, because his silence may look like consent.
It speaks volumes.
Yes. And if you don't say anything, people, especially those who are the victims, will think that that is the way the president wants it. That, therefore, they can continue. And also, these aggressors will also feel that, yes, the president is supporting our actions. That is why. That is another way to look at it. And just as Jide said, I want to cast our mind back to one of the greatest books that has ever been written about the Fulani cattle rearers, written by the late Cipriani Kwesi, The Burning Grass. If you read that book, you will understand very clearly the life of a Fulani herdsman.
The nomadic man.
These people, as Jide has said, they are not, I don't believe they are herdsmen. The herdsman will only have his stick, just like Aaron's rod. And is bow and arrow. And growing up then in the north, we used to wonder, how do these people
Managing the bush.
manage this thing? And the bow and arrow, we understand, is for shooting down wild animals that want to attack their herd of cattle. So now, if they have the ones that are now carrying weapon, AK-47 and the rest of them, I don't think they are herdsmen. Now, with the level
But there are people with cows.
well, that's just a decoy. That's just a decoy, as he said. Look, as he has, you need some level of practice and education to be able to carry AK-47. AK-47 is not a gun that any Tom, Dick, and Harry can be able to carry and shoot.
Even fall down while trying to shoot.
While trying to shoot it. But these people shoot with a lot of precision. So they are not, by my own understanding, I don't think they are ordinary herdsmen. They are only using rearing of cattle as a decoy to continue to carry out their havoc. And they are moving gradually from the north central. They are already in the southeast. Some of them, some time ago, it happened around the Shenyi area in the southwest. So it's like that. We are being boxed in, and this is the time for the president to speak. Because many people will think that because he's a Fulani man, that is why he's not speaking. And also the northern governors. I want them to see this as a real trouble that is breeding. Now, when the Niger Delta militants, when they started, was it not the Niger Delta governors that the late President Yaradua called on that we must find a solution to this? And they all sat down together and brought out... Exactly. So the northern governors, especially those of them who are from the far north, where most of these militiamen come from, must also wake up and find a sort of the kind of solution that we find.
You were talking about the ranching, building the ranch and thereabout. But you know the Maasai headsmen have been there like forever in the Nile River, but they don't go out of their territories. They take care of their heads there, and we don't even hear all these. So what do you think is the solution, really?
Well, when we spoke to residents, the impression we got was people are tired of fighting. They're tired of losing their loved ones, and they are tired of being attacked annually. It's a yearly thing now. It's become an annual ritual that must happen every year.
If they were attacked last year, the security agents will not be there again.
No, what actually has been happening is when there's an attack, like we're discussing, it becomes a public issue, and people make suggestions, and people proffer solutions, and when the attack calms down, everything finishes.
And the security agents just go.
Life continues. Nobody cares about them. Now, in Agatu, about the communities we visited, Betty said that there are no security posts there. Knowing fully where this area, it's very fragile. There have been a lot of crises within this belt, and no security agencies, security posts there, not even a military barrack or military presence around the houses. Now, but let's go back to the issue of how do we solve this problem. Now, people have been canvassing for ranches, and others are saying grazing reserve. Now, we spoke with representative of Mieti Allah, and they said that they are nomads and they cannot go for ranches. And that
so they just want to go around
the country,
go into people's
farms and all of that. And now with what he said that Fulanis they only carry sticks. Now that's not the nomenclature of a Fulani man. If you meet a Fulani man in the bush, my brother, that guy is carrying a weapon, either a knife, any kind of weapon with him. And that's because now with the fall of Gaddafi, there have been influx. You know that some of the nomads from Niger and then from Mali and Co, they've been empowered. And so that's why you see that the precision we are saying. Now what the people are saying is that it could mean that these guys are hired. They've been trained by,
mercenaries.
yes, they've been trained by the Gaddafi government to fight his war. Now he's no longer there. They have the weapon, they have some of them have what it takes.
And we have porous borders.
And we have porous border. So if I'm now the people you see in the bush are not the ones who owns the cattle. Yeah. Some of them are owned by governors. Yeah. So they cannot say anything. They are owned by the rich men in the north. So what we do is we get these people to fight. Now, if you look at the communities they have been attacking, are communities they suspect had killed their own. Now, in Benue State, the Goma Azis, the Gwewes Azis, the Agatu Azis, are people they have grievances with and believe that they had killed one of theirs. So it's very easy for us to say, let's get those people to fight back our battle. Now, a Fulani man believes that if you kill one of his, he's going to come back even if it takes 20 years. They will have to revenge that death. And so for me, it's a way of saying, look, help us revenge what we've been through. And it could be that, yes, the precision we're seeing and all of that is because they are now getting in touch, probably some sponsoring them to get in touch with those people. So while they are militia, we can say they are terrorists, but at the same time, they can be sponsored by owners of this cattle. And so say, look, come and fight our battle for us. Because if you look at the terrain of attacks, you know that the areas they are attacking are areas they've had grievances, or they had quarrels, or they believe their own has been killed there, or something has happened there. And so this is it. And we've seen a huge influx of nomads from the north. Not only north in Nigeria. We're seeing them, they're coming from Senegal, they're coming from Niger, they're coming from Chad, they're coming from Mali. In Chad is even worse. We just got back from Chad. And if you see what's in desert encroachment, the climate is doing there, you would, so they are moving in drones. And they need to feed their cattle. So the areas that are available for them are areas in the south. They are moving to southern parts of the country. Even in Chad, they're moving to southern part of the country. And so we're going to be seeing many of this. And that is why government must stand up. If we need to ranch, let's go ranching.
But the president's cattle are in ranches. So
no, but the Fulani herdsmen, the Magban are saying, the Mieti Allah people are saying that they don't understand ranching and they cannot do that because they are nomads.
Okay, according to the Inspector General of Police today, he said we will not allow Fulani herdsmen degenerate into Boko Haram.
Has he not?
But you see, the Igbo Ekwene initiative, I was listening to them, said the only time you've seen the DSS now, that's the Department of the Secret Police. Yeah. The only time you've seen them active in this fight against herdsmen is when arresting IPOB people saying they killed. So people are saying they are parochial.
One life bigger than the other.
They are saying our DSS is tribalistic, or how do I put it? What do you think, Jide?
When I heard that when I read that story, the DSS claimed that it found a grave somewhere where Fulani men were buried. I concluded in my mind that we now have a bunch of idiots running the security agencies, because that was a statement that was capable of inflaming passions in the country, of causing mass killings in the country. And they were not responsible enough to even manage that information well. You know, if they killed a few people and you now went out, DSS, who ought to know that, look, if we put this kind of information in the public domain, it can lead to mass killings, especially in the north and other places. You now come out to say, oh, some Fulanis were killed by Igbos. I think we've never had it so bad. I will not say that the DSS that we have is an ethnic one or a tribalistic one. It may just be that the directing minds of the DSS are people who do not know what they are doing. Because that was a very reckless and very responsible statement. I just thank God that it didn't lead to killings in the north. Because if it was in the past, it would have led to killings in the north.
Sensitive.
I don't know what they wanted to achieve. Maybe they wanted to achieve, wanted people to believe that, look, these killings are not one-sided. And then you go to that extent. It has never happened in our history that one of the agencies, the security agencies, will go on to say, oh, these people killed these people. No.
Mayomi, you're calling from Lagos. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us.
And the others.
Thank you.
regular call like this program are not strictly good as you are trying to develop the country, but we develop the family. That's why the action we are facing the country, I want my generator everybody to stay back in the office to watch this program. What I just want to chip in is this. The only solution we have to this Nigerian problem is regional government. Regional government, that's what we say was. That's as an instance. If the outside will not just come penetrate to the southeast or west to come and create any problem there. We have the issue, we have the Ariwas, we have the Niger Delta boys there, we have the OTC there. Everybody will defend this territory. You understand now? So imagine someone just, this thing is not happening enough for Christ's sake. I really said things when I saw numbers of people that were killed in Enugu yesterday. You are killing people in Enugu, killing people in Enugu, killing people in Oshu. Only then with that side. Let us resort to our regional government, individually. You go and defend your region. Everything will move faster in this country. Someone cannot from southwest to go to the northeast to go and invest there. That's I believe so. It's going to be the best solution to Nigerian problem.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mayomi. And let me go to you now. We talked about the controversial grazing bill, though that one has been ironed out now at the end of the day. But what do you think is the solution? Because how Dogbe was saying we need to get like 50,000 acres, right? Or is it, yeah, 50,000 acres of land. So we could just turn, okay, these people should stay in the same place. But they're saying it's their way of life. They need to go into another people's farms or just go around Nigeria. Eat up people's. You know, they even entered an agriculture experiment farm in Akungba Akoko.
Yeah.
They ate up wheat, ate everything there. It's bad.
You see, the thing is this. When we are talking about ranching, a ranch is not just a small pen or a small piece of land. A ranch can be a whole town. So what it means is just that it will be fenced land. They will not go beyond that place. So when they say they are nomadic, they can all do they can live their nomadic life in a ranch.
In a ranch.
The
So I
thing is,
don't
even
see.
the ranch will their cattle will be fed will even be richer than
Exactly.
what
But
they
if
go up and
you
down
ask outside,
looking
Exactly.
for.
and they'll be safe from cattle rustler.
Exactly, because cattle rearers, let them know that when we are talking of ranches, it is not that it is not going to be
confined.
a small piece of land. If you go to Norway, if you go to the US, if you
Texas.
go to other
Yes.
countries, they run ranches.
Yes.
It is not that it is just as
How
when
many
they hear
cattle
the word
do we
ranch.
even have? We don't even have cattle in
Exactly.
Nigeria.
And their
Let them go
cattle
to US
and their
see
cattle are fatter than the ones
Exactly.
there.
Of course.
Because one,
Have
They
you
walk
seen-
around
because
Have
they
you
supposed to
seen
walk
cattle?
around for hours.
doing
Have
exercise.
you seen cattle from Mambila Plateau?
Massive ones.
Exactly.
They're extremely big.
Extremely.
Some of them are as fat as this table.
Yes. So
Okay.
when they talk of ranches, they think it's just a small piece of land.
no,
It's not a pen.
Okay.
It's not a pen that.
I think also that even the governor of Jigawa State, the former governor, Sule Lamido,
Yes.
created grazing fields.
Exactly.
You know, so you see because the herdsmen
Yeah.
and farmers were frequently clashing, so he created grazing fields along highways. You see, so the cattle cannot roam free.
Exactly.
They already demarcated
They
those
have
areas
the
and then they can
demarcation.
feed. And the government was continually giving them rich meals. They provided rich meals
Which is better.
for this cattle.
Okay, Doshima, your last take before we say bye to you.
Well, I think this issue must be taken seriously by the government. People are pained. Government hasn't taken any stand on this. And if this degenerates, it's going to cause a lot of serious security concern.
And they are involved in kidnapping now.
Yes.
Raping.
I hope we don't forget.
Yeah,
Kidnapping.
they're not
Kidnapping for ransom now.
Exactly.
So that's what the Fulanis that we used to know.
They happen
They
to
are
Baba.
not like
Are they
that.
kidnapping
No.
They
people?
happen to Baba. Thank you very much, Doshima Abu, for coming around. And we need to go on a very short break now. When we come back, we'll continue. Do stay with us, please. Welcome back. And now in its bid to actualize its change agenda and fulfill promises made during the campaigns, the federal government held the first of its series of its town hall meetings in Lagos State on Monday. The meeting, which is expected to hold in 6 geopolitical zones across the country, is aimed at addressing salient issues as well as give account of activities by each ministry. But with the lingering fuel crisis, power outage, which has resulted in inadequate supply of water in some areas, and bad roads, which is now referred to as death traps, can these ministers get pass marks from the populace? A big question there also. But just joining us, I have Dikpo Olayoku, the general. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's always a pleasure.
Okay, let me quickly get your take on what we discussed earlier on, talking about these incessant killings of herdsmen, or I should not use herdsmen. By herdsmen. Thank you. What do you think? Because the IGP is saying that influx of arms and ammunition from Mali, Chad, and Libya led to the attacks.
I think if we don't diagnose the problem properly, we might not get a solution to the problem. We will be deluding ourselves if we believe that these killings are being carried out by Fulani herdsmen. I think if the security agencies are looking from that perspective, they must be deceiving themselves. What is happening now is beyond the Fulani herdsmen. Because when you have a group of people attacking a village, killing, burning down properties, houses, I think that's beyond the herdsmen. That is why the security agency should begin to look at perhaps, if we're not looking at the Boko Haram, we have another deadly group that unfortunately they have permeated the whole of the Nigerian society. But I think the government needs to be very, very forthright now, because it is becoming provocative. Provocative in the sense that these guys are moving from, if they are Fulani, they are moving into other parts of the country, especially the one that is happening in the southeast. Already there's a lot of agitation in the southeast. If this one is now coming from people they now see as coming from the president's area, I think it's a heart of provocation. That is why the government needs to step into the matter before people begin to say, okay, if the government cannot protect us, maybe there's a need for me to protect ourselves, and that would be very, very dangerous.
Wow, very, very dangerous. Oh, let's go to the town hall meeting, which some people are saying it's a good one, because we need to know what the government is doing. Some people say the government has been so quiet, but now let's take it bit by bit. Let's go to the petroleum minister now, Ibe Kachuku. He said the present fuel scarcity we're facing now could be blamed. It's caused by diversion of fuel to neighboring countries like Chad and Cameroon. Jide?
Every day, Kachuku comes up with a different excuse. He told us that this fuel scarcity will end this week. We've not seen any sign that it will happen.
The week is still on now.
We've not seen any sign. I'm not saying that. You know, we've not seen any sign that will happen. Consistently, he's made promises to the Nigerian people that he has not been able to keep. Now, I heard from him yesterday that the refineries will soon begin to work.
The one they said were working.
And I've been reading for the past 2 weeks that the refineries had begun working. In fact, it was even reported that the Warri refinery, the Port Harcourt refinery had begun to generate, to refine 7 million liters a day.
That's what I heard also.
But the minister is telling us now that they will soon begin to work. Now, the issue of diversion, of course, he said the truth. Is being diverted. This whole thing happens in a season of scarcity. It will happen. If you have sufficient products, it will, even if there is the diversion, we won't be facing the grueling fuel scarcity that we are facing now. We won't. Because the reality,
even if there is diversion.
Yes, there has always been diversion. Diversion to the borders, across the border.
That was why
you go to the north, they take fuel to Niger Republic, to Chad. It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. to even Benin Republic here. You know, a lot of those countries, they rely on Nigerian fuel.
Yes.
But the reality is, do we have enough product? Late last week, the newspapers reported that the depots were empty.
Yes, I heard that.
We just do not have enough product. That is the problem. Because even now the marketers have not been able to bring in product. Have you made Forex available to the marketers? Yes, the IOCs have promised that they will give us $200 million so that we can find money to import product. Have they delivered to the marketers? If you call the marketers or the major oil marketers, they will tell you that there are problems here and there. You are still relying on orders made by the NNPC. And we know that it will not be enough. The solution to this problem is to get the marketers involved and make Forex available to them.
And not the major marketers alone.
Yeah, the major marketers. The major marketers. That's the way. No. The independent marketers will sell product to the independent marketers.
Okay.
Because when they bring in sufficient product, they can't sell everything themselves. They have to sell. That has always been the problem that we had. The problem was caused by Kachiku's decision to change, to adopt a strategy that has not worked. Nigerians make so much noise. Oh, Kachiku, listen, he worked at ExxonMobil. Have they asked where he worked at ExxonMobil? He worked largely in the administrative department. He does not have sufficient knowledge of the downstream and upstream. And even if you are a technocrat from abroad, you come into Nigeria, you must have sufficient knowledge of how things work here. I've said on this program before that Harvard principles don't work in Nigeria. You must come here and see the way. Now he's discovering some problems as we are going on. He's discovering some problems. He's coming out now. This is the way to solve this problem. He has realized that NNPC cannot do this alone because this is what brought this problem.
Okay. And the way to solve the problem, that one about trucks diverting our product out of this country, he said the trackers have not been placed in these trucks. So what has the nation
There are no trackers. Are there no security agents at the borders? I don't
wonder, they take these trucks.
A truck is not this piece of barrel that you can throw into your pocket. A truck is a
to even move from here to Chad.
Yeah, so
we lost a ship in this country once.
See, all these are not. There are no new excuses. They have always been there.
They've always been there.
Diversion of fuel, diversion of this. What is happening at the borders? We have customs, we have DSS, we have police, we have immigration, we all sort of uniform agents.
Defense.
So what exactly is their job? That means that they are not doing what they are supposed to do. If we are sure that through the Idiroko border, 5 trucks passed there, at what time? Who are the officers on duty? Why did they allow these trucks to pass? Those are the way to deal with things. It's not that we just sit in air-conditioned office and they will be saying that the petrol, the tankers have been diverted, so and so. So what? They have always been diverted.
Last week he even said that the interland, Nigeria interland.
Interland. Later is Chad and Cameroon.
See, the human race is created to be rebellious. So, where things work, it is not because people are not rebellious. People are rebellious, but there are laws that guide. If you are caught, you know what it means. Whether you are a security agent, you drop the ball under your watch, you know what will happen to you. Whether you are the lawbreaker, you know what will happen to you. So, what has happened to these our laws? Now, at the end of all these security agencies are people we believe the president trusts. If they are not doing what they are supposed to do, or their lieutenants are not doing what they are supposed to do, they should be fired.
They should.
Or be changed.
Okay, he said something, said from now on, you'll start pop deliveries and even stations where these fuel will go to and release hotlines. So if we go to a station and you know they've delivered you can call the hotline. Hopefully it's going to be hot really. And you call the hotline and they will take action. What do you think? Is that a good solution?
Yes, it is on paper, but in reality. And I give you 2 instances. On the issue of diversion, oh no, not even diversion this time around. On the issue of selling above official price. Yes. And I will give you 2 examples. Somewhere where I live in Akute. About 2 Fridays ago, officers of DPR came to a filling station and they met the filling station selling above the official price. And what did they do? They started dispensing fuel free of charge to people that were in the filling station. That was on Friday. By Sunday, this same filling station got supply and was selling above official price.
He has made his money from the anyone.
No, what I'm telling you is that that is one. Then 2, there's another filling station very close to the police station at Ajuwon, where the same DPR officials came. They made them selling above because they have sent their lines to everybody. You can call them and they will come. They were there. They dispensed. At a point, the owner of the station invited these guys into his office. They stopped the operation. What I expected that they would have dispensed everything they had in the store, in the tank rather. But after some time, they left. And not quite 2 hours later, this same station started selling at 150 naira. What will encourage a Nigerian to now call DPR? So even if you have the report, the statistics, that this station is supposed to have fuel and they are not selling, who are you going to call? You can't call Kachiku. You can't call PPRA. No. They will still send their boys in the field. You see, I think the problem, I don't know, I wish the president knows the damage this thing is doing to his image.
He's the Minister of Petroleum, so he should
that was the genesis of the problem that we are facing today. This man is an individual, Kachiku. It's only one man. He is doing the function of NNPC, the GMD. He is doing the function of Minister of State. And he's also doing the function of the substantive Minister for Petroleum. Yes. If the president needs to help this government and some of the people that campaign for him, and even Nigerians, because I was coming from the office to now, and I saw Nigerians still queuing for fuel. The same thing. In my area, I bought at 120 naira yesterday. I drove into the filling station. I came out immediately. But people have accepted it as our own lot in that area. I think
people now just choose any price. If I like, I sell at 250.
Exactly.
And nobody will hold me.
So I think what the president...
250.
What the president... No, in my area is 120. You drive in and you come out.
It's still Lagos now.
I bought 130 too.
So I think what the president needs to do is he needs to divest himself of that Minister for Petroleum issue. Let us have one person. When the other governments were there, the minister was not so much involved like Kachiku as the Minister of State. This is an NNPC DPR stuff.
Can I quickly take Shegun from Kutonu? Shegun, good evening. Have you seen any of our tankers around there?
Good question.
How are you?
We are looking for our tankers.
Shegun, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still there, my brother. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, please, I'm delighted with your program. Let me just make this simple contribution. Well done.
Thank
you have been contributing immensely for the growth of Nigeria in this aspect. One thing I want to say is that this APC government, all of us was overwhelmed when they came into power. But it's quite unfortunate that what we voted for is not what we're seeing now. I'm still appealing to all of them. They should listen to the plight of Nigerians. We are suffering all over. When I call my family down home, the report I get, it is quite disturbing. How can a Nigerian citizen buy a liter of fuel for 150 naira, 200 naira, and it's not buying it that is the problem. You cannot even access it. You can't even see it when you want to buy. You will queue for hours, sometimes for days. So it is quite a problem. Let them change their economic policy. We are not enjoying it. We are ashamed of what they are doing in Nigeria here. So if they can change it, that will do good for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Angela, let's get to you. Because of time, let's talk about the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing. The main man, the former Governor Fashola. And he's saying that the government has needs 2 trillion to complete inherited projects, 226 of them, and now they have like 400 billion naira
for the ministry
put together.
430 or something.
430
for 3 ministries
put together.
I read what he said. You know, Fashola knows how to say things that will excite our people. You know, even when he doesn't mean it. He was saying that, look, when the budget is that they cannot work, they can't fix the roads because the budget has not been passed. Of course, this is a very good alibi, very good excuse. But the problem is, the question is, there are so many bad roads in Nigeria. In fact, we don't have good roads. Remember, we've talked about Nigeria having the worst roads in Africa on this program. Now, the question is, how many roads can Fashola fix with what has been appropriated to
the ministries?
The ministries, there are 3 ministries given to one man. How many roads can he fix? Because that excuse that they've not fixed roads because the budget is not out is really not tenable. It can do precious little with what has been appropriated in the 2016 budget to his ministry, because roads rehabilitation alone will go up so much if he really wants to fix the bad roads in this country. And my feeling is that increasingly we must get the private sector involved. The era of saying, no, don't toll our roads, this and that, is gone. If we want good roads, those roads must be tolled and must be maintained.
Like the way Lagos State
so
is
they
going.
must get the private sector involved. You can see the value of getting the private sector involved in Lagos. The light up project in Lagos, for example, is private sector driven.
Working.
Security in Lagos. You can see how those banks and the rest of
the new bridge, coming up.
How they are providing money for equipment for the police and all that. So the government must not think that it can actually fix all the bad roads in Nigeria. It must get the private sector involved. That's what I thought that
and they should
Fashola will be talking about. And then he also said 5,000 megawatts. We know.
Let me take
it's
that.
Not enough.
It's not enough.
But
what is being
done, we don't even have up to it.
Yes, what is being done?
Left to me, I think the government, either at federal or state level, should hands off the issue of housing. They should just face power and works. The reason is this. Federal government will say it will build 1,000 housing units in each state every year. Have they ever built that? The state will say the same thing. And even if they do, who are the people who buy them? They are the people who will not live there, who will buy it and rent it out to people. All the government needs to do, fix power and roads. I want to live in Akute, or I want to live in Agatu.
I would choose.
If government does the road straight and the road is good, I'll build my house.
You can live in Ibadan and come to Lagos.
Exactly. If it is a hovel I can build in any outskirts, I can live with it. Because other governments in the world are building houses for their people. Does not mean the government should build house for us when they know they can't do it.
You think that even the ones built that we see all over, how many of them have been occupied?
Exactly.
Go to Ogba now.
Taking it to you, but talking about houses now, because he said the federal government will design, or they're designing houses, house model for the country, affordable ones, and they have to consider
but he
cultural
told us that there's nothing like cheap houses. He told us when he was in Lagos. Because there's no cheap cement.
We have to look at cultural stability.
What is your definition of affordable?
And cultural suitability also.
Affordable to him might not be affordable to
it won't even be affordable to me.
To a minimum wage earner.
Yes, that's at least to him. Maybe
a minimum wage will stay in the thatched house.
No, I think we need to tell ourselves the truth. There's a need for the president to take a second look at that cabinet.
Yes.
Very sincerely. The issue of NNPC, GND, petroleum should be looked at.
An MD for the NNPC.
Immediately. In the case of the Mr. Fashola combining these three gigantic offices,
maybe make him minister
somebody was talking this morning on a radio program. He said, why do we need a minister of state for labor? What's the man doing there?
No.
Let us break Fasholas of three offices and give to people that would.
That was Ocholi then, right?
Yes, the person mentioned Ocholi that now that this guy is dead, by the time they are going to appoint another person from Kogi State, they will be looking at breaking Fasholas ministries.
Okay,
why are we still talking about federal government pumping money into NEPA or PSN or whatever they call it? Why did they privatize them?
No.
Why should that be the problem of government again? If these people that have bought NEPA, PSN,
they don't have the capacity,
then let us look elsewhere. Because this is the time for the government to take some political decisions that might be hard on Nigerians. Don't forget that we have a national committee on roads that made a recommendation that roads in Nigeria should be tolled. But because of the election, that was why the former president put it on hold. This is the time they can take some tough decisions so that by the time
we'll get used to it before the first
Gentlemen, we need to leave, but it has been a lovely one, a very big one there. Thank you very much, Deep Olayoku, General. Thank you so much, BKO, Babajide Kolade Tutoju, and also Olayinka Oyegbile. Thank you so much. And thanks for those that have called. Thank you so much. And that's all on today's Journalist Hangout. Join us again tomorrow for a fresh episode of the program. And you can always watch the repeat broadcast from Monday to Friday at 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning. I am Dapo Aruwa Joy. Bye for now and God bless Nigeria.